Disneyland in Anaheim, California, is the original Disney theme park. Since opening on July 17, 1955, over 600 million people have entered its gates. They call it the happiest place on Earth. But as the sun sets and the last visitors leave, a different side of Disneyland emerges. A side filled with shadows and whispers of the past. Legend has it that some visitors never left. You see, Disneyland is said to be haunted, and it is probably one of the most haunted properties in California. Today, we're revealing the haunted secrets and ghostly encounters that have turned this magical kingdom into a place of chilling legends and unsettling stories. We'll be talking about 5 notorious ghosts in Disneyland and their disturbing backstories, along with the alleged evidence of their existence. Imagine yourself in Disneyland at midnight, the park eerily silent and still. The joyous sounds of the day have faded, leaving an unsettling quiet. As you stroll through the empty pathways, a cold breeze sends a shiver down your spine. Ahead, near an old attraction, you notice a faint figure. A young woman in a simple dress, her clothes unmistakably from the 70s. Her sorrowful eyes meet yours, but as you try to approach, she dissolves into the shadows, leaving behind a lingering chill. On the evening of July 8, 1974, tragedy struck Disneyland's America Sings attraction. Just a week after the newly refurbished attraction opened, an 18-year-old cast member named Deborah Gail Stone was working as a hostess. Deborah, standing at about 5'2", greeted each new audience with a welcoming smile as they settled into the rotating seating area. America Sings, which had replaced the Carousel of Progress, featured an outer ring of 6 seating areas that rotated around a stationary center, housing multiple stages. Deborah's job was to welcome guests over a microphone before the outer ring rotated and carried the audience to the first scene of the carousel. However, on that fateful night, around 11 p.m., Deborah approached too closely to the narrow space between the rotating theater wall and the stationary stage wall. In a horrifying moment, she was caught and crushed to death. Guests in an adjacent theater heard her screams and alerted the ride operators. The attraction was immediately halted, but it was too late. Deborah's life had been tragically cut short. The gruesome details of Deborah's death have fueled many urban legends. It is said that she was engaged and had reached out to show her co-worker her ring when her arm was caught. Others claim that her crushed and dismembered body was found hours later, and it took several buckets to remove her remains. These stories, while unsettling, highlight the emotional impact of her tragic accident. Deborah's death was the first employee fatality in Disneyland's history and led to significant changes in the ride's safety protocols. The America Sings attraction was closed for 2 days while safety lights were installed to alert operators whenever someone got too close to the danger area. Eventually, the solid walls were replaced with breakaway ones to prevent similar accidents from occurring. Despite these measures, the stage where Deborah died remained closed for a year as a further precaution. The tragic incident left a lasting mark on Disneyland, and Deborah's story continues to be one of the most haunting. Cast members have reported eerie encounters ever since, including disembodied voices warning them to be careful, cold chills in the air, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. These ghostly encounters have contributed to the legend of Deborah Stone's restless spirit haunting the park. A viral video has circulated online that purportedly captures Deborah's final moments. This video, supposedly filmed during a live performance, features the sound of screams overlaid on the footage. If you've heard about Deborah Stone's story, you've probably seen or heard about this video. However, this video is fake. The screams were added later, and as far as we know, no footage or photos of the accident exist. The video is a fabrication, yet it continues circulating, adding to the morbid fascination with Deborah's story. Deborah's story is a chilling reminder of Disneyland's darker side. The gruesome details of her death, combined with the eerie reports of her ghost, make her tale one of the park's most haunting legends. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Deborah Stone's presence lingers in the park's halls.
No flash photography here in our theater. Also, for your own personal safety, remain in your seats at all times, especially while the carousel is in motion. Feel free to clap and sing along, but please remember, no flash pictures. And now America's Sings.
Let's travel on through history and hear America sing. Sing it, Sam. Yankee Doodle traveled south, riding on a riverboat. Played a tune and sang it out. It sounded like a billy goat. Yankee Doodle liked the South, sang their song so dear. Thought they were most elegant for everyone to hear. Yankee Doodle sing it up, the Yankee Doodle bang. With fine music and the working in the song behind.
The Matterhorn bobsleds ride at Disneyland might not be the first attraction you think of when it comes to hauntings, but for decades, rumors have circulated about a ghostly presence on this iconic ride. The tragic story of Dolly Young gives these rumors a chilling basis. On July 8, 1984, 48-year-old Dolly Young from California met a horrific end on the Matterhorn. During the ride, she fell from her bobsled and was fatally struck by another oncoming sled. Reports indicated that her seatbelt was not fastened, although it's unclear whether she unbuckled it herself or if it malfunctioned. Her tragic death led to the area where she was struck being named Dolly's Dip, and park employees claimed that she still haunts this section of the ride. Kristen, a former ride operator who worked at Disneyland from 1989 to 1995, recounted her experiences with Dolly's ghost. "I worked on that ride for several years and I never saw her, but I sure did feel her." Kristen wrote in a blog post for Wonder Wisdom, staff members were required to walk the ride track after closing each day to look for lost items, a task Kristen dreaded. "Every time I was unlucky enough to get a track walking shift, I had an uneasy feeling like someone was watching me," she recalled. The feeling was always the worst in the big cavern in the middle of the ride and at Dolly's Dip. In fact, the work lights in the tunnel near Dolly's Dip always seemed to be burned out. In 6 years, I don't think I ever saw those lights working. Kristen's account is not unique. Many cast members have reported feeling a supernatural presence and hearing strange sounds while walking the tracks at night. Some even refuse to go near Dolly's Dip alone. These eerie encounters have cemented Dolly Young's ghost as one of Disneyland's most persistent legends. Dolly Young's death was not the only fatality on the Matterhorn. In the 1960s, a teenage boy stood up during the ride and was struck, resulting in his death. This incident and Dolly's led to significant safety changes on the ride, including the introduction of snap-in seatbelts, similar to those found in cars. Disney, however, claims these changes were not directly related to the accidents. Despite these safety measures, Dolly Young's ghostly presence remains a topic of intrigue and fear among Disneyland staff and guests. Her story serves as a grim reminder that even in the happiest place on Earth, the shadows of tragedy and whispers of the past can never be fully silenced. Next time you visit Disneyland and experience the thrilling ride of the Matterhorn bobsleds, think of Dolly Young. Her presence may still linger in the dark caverns and tunnels, watching over the very spot where she met her untimely end. Disneyland, Walt Disney's brainchild, is not just a theme park, but a place haunting stories. Among these tales is a legend associated with Walt Disney himself, which revolves around his secret apartment above the Disneyland Fire Department. This small, private space on the second floor was Walt's favorite spot in the park. He would often light the lamp by the window, signaling to cast members that he was present, working on his beloved project. Since Walt's passing in 1966, this light, once a beacon of his presence, has become an eerie symbol. After Walt passed away, the legend goes that the lamp began to mysteriously turn on by itself. This peculiar occurrence quickly turned into an urban legend, with many believing that the lamp contains Walt's spirit, forever watching over the park. Some claim that the lamp has never been turned off since these supernatural events began, a permanent tribute to Disney. However, this is not entirely true. Disney historians and avid park-goers have noted that the current lamp and the one before it are replacements, not the original lamp used by Walt Disney. The lamp that now sits in the window is a Fenton Sea Mist Green Paisley lamp, first produced in 1991, long after Walt's passing. Walt's wife, Lillian Disney, took the original lamp, making the current lamp a mere symbol to keep the legend alive. Despite this, the apartment and the lamp are important in Disney lore. The apartment, which is not open to the public, can be visited on special guided tours that offer a rare opportunity to experience the space that was once Walt Disney's personal retreat. The lamp, on the other hand, can be seen from ground level at Disneyland Park. Former cast members and visitors alike have shared their eerie experiences related to the lamp and the apartment. Some claim they feel a supernatural presence when near the apartment, as if Walt himself is still there keeping an eye on the park. One cast member recounted a particularly chilling experience. While cleaning the apartment, she turned off the lamp and left the room, only to return and find it lit again. Determined to turn it off, she unplugged it, but the lamp turned on yet again, glowing brightly despite the lack of power. One story is about a night guard who heard footsteps and the distinct sound of a man clearing his throat in an empty apartment. When he investigated, he found the apartment empty, but the air felt heavy with an unexplainable presence. Guests on special tours have also reported feeling a sudden drop in temperature and an overwhelming sense of being watched while inside the apartment. Some have even claimed to see a shadowy figure peering out of the window late at night, long after the park is closed. In addition to these personal accounts, a clip from 2009 has resurfaced, suggesting that the eerie image seen on security cameras might be the ghost of Walt Disney himself. This ghostly figure was captured on multiple cameras, moving in sync across different locations in the park. The apparition appears to glide through 4 different security cameras, at one point even walking across the water of a boating lake. The ghostly light seems to take the form of a human, leading many to speculate that Walt Disney could be roaming his beloved park after everyone has gone home. Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean ride is an exciting adventure filled with animatronic pirates, intricate set pieces, and thrilling drops. However, beneath the joyful facade lies one of Disney World's most chilling legends, the ghost of George. George was a young construction worker involved in building the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction in the early 1970s. The most popular versions of the story claim that George met a tragic end, either by falling from a high area or being crushed by a falling beam during the ride's construction. Some say he fell from a tall windowed tower visible during the well-dunking and burning city scenes. This structure is now often referred to as George's Tower, and it is believed that his initials are carved into its base, never successfully removed despite multiple attempts. It's worth noting that there is no official record or concrete evidence that any construction worker named George or anyone else died during the ride's construction. The lack of such records has led many to view George's story as an urban legend. Despite this, the stories about George persist, kept alive by cast members and visitors who swear by their experiences. After George's alleged death, strange occurrences began to plague the ride. Cast members quickly attributed these anomalies to George's restless spirit. To this day, it is a tradition for the cast members to greet George with a good morning upon starting their shift and a good night before leaving for the day. Failing to do so is said to result in technical difficulties and breakdowns throughout the day. These rituals have become a part of the daily routine, ensuring smooth operations and, hopefully, keeping George content. George's mischievous spirit is known to cause all sorts of disturbances. Reports of the ride shutting down unexpectedly, phone calls from an empty control room, and ghostly apparitions appearing on the ride monitors are all attributed to George. Many cast members experienced a mysterious chill in the supposed spot where George fell to his death. His favorite haunts are said to be near the pirate with the pigs, under the bridge, where a pirate's leg hangs over, and near George's door by the dog with the keys. Guests have also encountered George's spectral presence. Some have reported feeling an inexplicable chill or seeing shadowy figures on the ride. A warning among frequent visitors is never to taunt George. There are stories of guests mockingly proclaiming their disbelief in George, only to find themselves stuck on the ride for an unusually long period due to a mysterious breakdown. One particularly eerie tale involves a sad older woman who periodically visits the ride, asking to ride alone. On ride monitors, she could be seen speaking to no one and sobbing into her ride boat. It was believed that she was George's heartbroken mother, forever mourning her son's tragic death. The legend says that if the light in George's tower is on during the burning city scene, it is considered a sign that George is present and watching over the ride. Another part of the legend involves a door behind the iconic prison dog. Known as George's Door, it is said that this door must always remain closed. If left open, it invites ghostly activities and malfunctions. Seeing both the tower light on and the door open is seen as a bad omen. Despite the chilling tales, Disney has never officially acknowledged George's existence. However, the stories persist, passed down from one cast member to another, adding a ghostly charm to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Space Mountain, one of the park's most popular attractions, is also home to its own spectral legend, Mr. One-Way. This ghostly figure has been reported by numerous guests and cast members over the years, making him one of the most well-known spirits in the park. Space Mountain, located in Tomorrowland, is an indoor roller coaster that takes guests on a thrilling journey through space. The ride opened at Disneyland in 1977 and is known for its immersive sound effects, evocative music, and intense sensory experience. However, for some guests, the most unforgettable part of the ride is their encounter with Mr. One-Way. Mr. One-Way is typically described as a large man with red hair and a red face, though some accounts describe him as a young boy wearing 70s-style clothing. According to the legend, Mr. One-Way is the ghost of a man who died on the ride in the 1970s. He is known for appearing next to single riders, striking up conversations with them as they wait in line and even during the ride, only to disappear before the ride ends. In June 2021, TikTok user Clay Lacey shared a story about a guest who experienced a strange encounter while waiting in line for Space Mountain. The guest struck up a conversation with a red-headed man who seemed oddly out of touch with recent changes at Disneyland. This guest was seated next to the man on Space Mountain, but by the end of the ride, the man had vanished. When the guest reported the incident to a cast member, they were informed that no one else had been seated beside them. Surveillance footage has even captured strange images that some believe to be Mr. One-Way. Disney has never officially acknowledged Mr. One-Way's existence, despite the chilling accounts from multiple guests and staff. However, the stories persist, adding an extra layer of mystery to the beloved ride. Even the happiest place on Earth has its secrets. Behind Disneyland's cheerful facade, these stories remind us that the magic has a darker side. If you enjoyed learning about Disneyland's haunted history, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories like these. If you visited Disney or any theme park and had spooky experiences, please share them with us in the comments below. Until next time.